For Black History Month, I'm talking about the work of one Black biblical scholar or theologian every day, and today is Dwight Callahan's The Talking Book, African Americans and the Bible. The Talking Book is a work of religious history, except instead of being the history of an era or of a nation, it's the history of a relationship, the relationship between the Bible and African Americans in the United States, and the history of the text's influence and interpretation in African American hands. Callahan follows this relationship from the time when the text was first introduced to African Americans in the hands of Southern enslavers and Northern missionaries, down to the present period where the text can often be found in the hands of African American activists, theologians, and other makers of culture. African Americans have a complicated relationship with the Bible, and as Callahan follows the development of this relationship, he's also following the development of the text's interpretation from a time when the text was almost exclusively used in support of white supremacy and the justification of the institution of slavery, to a time in which the text is often used to support the cause of Black liberation. One of the more interesting historical arguments that Callahan makes is that he says many people assume that African American engagement with the Bible has been somewhat limited to appropriations of the Exodus motif for fairly obvious reasons. But he says this is a gross mischaracterization of actual history. African American appropriation of biblical themes is far more diverse than this in practice, and he spends a considerable amount of time demonstrating this through a close examination of African American literature and music. For example, Callahan shows how African American interpreters have spent a lot of time creatively engaging with narratives of Ethiopian characters in Scripture, and also how African American writers have drawn on themes of exile and diaspora, which play such a significant role in the Hebrew Bible. If you want a better understanding of the complex historical relationship between African Americans and the Bible, I cannot recommend a better book than this.